Well, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your evening, your family plans, and other things to come and listen to the wonderful things that are happening in our school district. You know, as we approach tonight and wondering if anybody will show up that's not on the payroll, all right, we always wonder, you know what, if the turnout isn't huge, that's also a good sign because our community trusts and knows the job that we're doing in our classrooms across our district and in both communities. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. This is our second annual, or this is the second time we've done the State of the Schools. We were here last year about this same time, which was our first State of the Schools. And, you know, when I reflect back on that evening, my wife was here, and afterwards, when I got home, she said, yeah, you did okay. And I thought, really? I had other colleagues tell me, yeah, it was great, it was awesome, but I think I tried to be a little too scripted, and I wasn't being my authentic self. Many of the faces in the room tonight have been uber supportive to me in the 3 years that I've been here. There's members from our Board of Education here this evening. There's former board members here that were on the board that hired me. I am still, to this day, 3 years in, both humbled and honored to be the superintendent of Brecksville Broadview Heights. This is a special place. You hear me say that a lot. You'll hear me also say that it isn't always normal, and I mean that in the most flattering way. But the goal of tonight and the idea of a Save of Schools is just to kind of touch base on what has happened over the past year, what's going on in our classrooms, where we stand with our strategic plan, and maybe what the future brings. And depending on how tonight goes and the vibe that we kind of get, I even warned Craig Yanagloss, our treasurer, that maybe at the end we'll just open mic it and we'll take questions, because what we want is we want you to leave here this evening knowing something that you didn't already know about your school district, and also have the opportunity to get the information that you may want. It's very important times. If you're keeping track and knowing what's going on in Columbus right now, public education is under attack. And I'm not going to focus on that a lot tonight because we're here to celebrate some successes and some great things, but it's also the reality of what we as public educators in a community like Brecksville Broadview Heights needs to keep their eye on the ball, because some of the changes that could come our way could have drastic effects to your school system. And I think at that point in time, we don't want to say, boy, I wish I would have done more. But as we start talking about the 25-26 school year, it all starts with the beginning of the year. As an educator, being in my 26th year in education, one of the greatest things about my job is no matter how well I did last year or how poorly I did last year, every August 1st, I get to start with a clean slate. And I think many of our educators feel the same way. That's both an honor and a privilege, but also some of the most pressure-packed situations to continue to show up and continue to repeat. And one of the things that I judge the job that I do personally and hold myself accountable for is how smoothly of a school year and how we start. Because honestly, the central office team, the admin team, it's our job to prepare our buildings and to prepare our teaching staff to have the tools available to them so they can get off to a great start to the school year. And this year was yet another great start. A little secret, little advantage. The past 2 years, we added a day or two to the start of the school year without students. Because believe it or not, even the adults that work in our buildings get nervous for the first day of school. And to be able to be in the buildings and to prepare their classrooms only allows them to do their job more effectively. So we started on August 20th. It was a strong start across the board. Buses were rolling. They were on time, which always makes us very, very happy. This is year 2 of our strategic plan that you'll hear me talk about a lot this evening. That strategic plan is a living, breathing document that we have a plan, we have a path to move forward as a school district. But soon after the start of the school year, we found out once again that BBH CSD exceeded expectations. It's become a legacy for our school district to be a high-achieving school district simply because we have, as Dr. Martin will tell you, great inputs. We have awesome students who come from awesome families and 2 communities that support our schools like no other. And because of that support, and because of those wonderful inputs and the wonderful teaching staff we have, Brecksville Broadview Heights City School District was once again a 5-star district, one of very few across the state. And we could go on, and I can invite Dr. Martin up, and he could go into every statistic, every metrics, and everything else, and we'd be here till about 10:30. So, doctor, have a seat. But all joking aside, we are proud of the results that we get. But one thing I want you to take away from this is that's not the full story. That's just part of the story. 5 stars across the board, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the one indicator that the state says we were only 4 stars. Now, the nice thing, I guess, is we have friends, because no other school district in the state of Ohio got 5 stars in the college, career, workforce, and military readiness. It's kind of silly, right? Many of you in this room have been in these cities for a long time. I think we do an outstanding job of preparing our students for college, career, workforce, and military readiness. Unfortunately, when the state puts out rules and measures, there's a little bit of a learning curve. And what we need to do is we need to do a better job as adults in our school district in tracking some of those things. That 4-star is not a student issue, it's more a systems issue. Just like when the report cards first came out, all school districts started out lower and each year learned how to play the game, how to report information correctly to the state, how to represent the wonderful things going on in our building. But I can't stress to you enough, and it's easy for us in Brecksville, Broadview Heights to say this, it's not all about the test scores. Yes, it's easy to say that because we do perform so well. And one of our strategic priorities in our strategic plan is to be a top 5 school district in the state of Ohio based on relevant metrics. We could chase that #1 rating, we could want to be that, but that would be at the sacrifice of other things that we provide our students. We provide them with a well-rounded education. We provide them with a vast opportunity for different experiences. And it's not all about the test or what some may say, teaching to the test. BBHHS, high schools across the state, across the country are always ranked, not only in athletics, but in other endeavors. In the U.S., the best high schools, U.S. News and Rankings, we're 4th in the Cleveland area, 20th in the state, or 584th nationally. Those are wonderful, those are great, but as I said earlier, that doesn't tell the whole story. We could chase the #1 rating, we could want to be Solon, but I don't want to be Solon because we're Brecksville, Broadview Heights. We do things differently. We offer opportunities for our students that other school districts do not. As simply as last week at Severance Music Center, some of us had the opportunity to watch our choirs perform. But it wasn't just our choir, it was Hudson and Bay Village. It was collaboration, it was teamwork. It was lessons that we teach our students beyond the classroom that are going to lead to success. Those are the type of things that aren't measured in the best high schools, U.S. News and Reports, or the Ohio State report card. It doesn't measure the success of our robotics program, which is absolutely one of the best experiences a student here at BBHHS could have. If you have not had the opportunity to witness a robotics competition, you're missing out. Before coming to BBHHS, I had limited experience with the robotics programs. I was in school districts that it wasn't a priority, one that wasn't supported by its community. I walked into the first competition in this gymnasium and I was blown away at the opportunity for 21st century learning to happen. It wasn't just about the robot, it wasn't about just building the robot, it was about being a good team player, it was about creating alliances, it was about doing different jobs other than just being the driver, and I'm probably not describing that correctly. But the point being is, it's those type of opportunities that set us apart from many of the school districts around us. But let's brag about our students. Because this year we have 4 National Merit semifinalists. They're in the top 1% of students, not in the county, but in the country. Top 1% in the country. And if I really pinned down Mr. Jacob, he'd probably tell me he wanted more than 4. And there are years we have more than 4. But the pure fact that we have students who perform in this building in the top 1% of the country speaks volumes to what's happening in our classroom and in our community. But we go even further, and some of those other opportunities we talk about just this fall, based on our community survey that we did during the strategic planning process, our community said, yes, we want that legacy, we want that high achieving success academically, but our kids need to know how to do life. They need life skills. They need to know how to balance a checkbook, change a tire, jump a car. So this past quarter, the high school started, it's a mouthful, Real World Wednesdays. They plan to do it on a quarterly type of basis. And this opportunity was a beautiful fall day where the seniors got to go to the auditorium and hear from representatives from the University of Akron on what campus life is like, how to choose a roommate, how to get over conflict with a roommate, what happens when you want to rent or lease or just campus life. Then we had another group of students who went to the middle school and heard from our friends at Dollar Bank, Representatives from Dollar Bank came and talked about savings and checkings and investments. And they even got a voucher to open an account with Dollar Bank, and they would get $200 deposited into that account. Those students did. And then in the parking lot, we had Drive Team, and we had our friends from both Brecksville and Broadview Heights Safety Forces who talked to our students of what happens when you get pulled over, how you should act, how you should interact with our safety forces. Individuals from Drive Team that taught our students how to jump a car or change a tire, and those important things that we all learn at some point in time in our life. We are also getting those experiences here at BBH CSD. We also have a huge push of what is your career going to look like? We want our kids to be career ready and have experiences. And at the middle school this fall, Carmel Dean, real-life recording artist, Grammy-nominated individual, came and spoke to our students to show them that your passions in life and things that you're good at can be a career. Your path doesn't have to look like the person sitting next to you. Doesn't have to look like your mom or dad's path. All right? There's opportunities galore. Or we could talk also at the middle school about our 7th graders. It's our recruiting, it's our farm system for our robotics program as they begin to work with VEX robotics vehicles and critical thinking, teamwork, and collaboration. All important skills beyond the classroom. Or even this year, as we've been transitioning at our elementary building. When I arrived on campus 2 years ago, we were coming off year 1 of the elementary building, the mega building, as so many people described it to me. It's huge. You know, communication struggles. We don't know where something is. So we took that to heart. We tried to create an environment that feels smaller. And we separated that elementary building into 2 schools under one roof. We have a primary building and an intermediate building, led by our administrative team. And they've given up opportunities, given up power to one another to run it so that the primary K-1-2 looks different. It feels different than 3, 4, 5. And it also gives the opportunity for grades 3, 4, and 5 to do things a little bit different because they're getting older and they're the most important ones in the building at times. So it's gone a long way, but that's been internal. That isn't necessarily external, but internal. And we have heard from our staff how much they appreciate the attention they're getting from those administrative teams that run both the primary and the intermediate. And at the intermediate school, having different awards type assemblies for the older students, reinforcing positive behavior, teaching kids how to adult, how to grow up and be a good person. At the primary school, teaching our young bees, our high school kids, there's nothing better than our high school kids going to the elementaries to just teach them how to be Brecksville bees. And we think that the little guys and girls get excited. Secret, the high school kids are just as excited to go down there. They're like rock stars when they walk into that building. It gives them a sense of pride. But again, those are things that we don't take for granted. Another special opportunity that we provide to our high school students, and even now at the elementary building, is Unified Sports. Unified Sports is an opportunity for our students and our special ed programming to interact and have experiences with typical peers. And again, we set this program up, or this program begins, and we think it's for our students with special needs. It's just as powerful for our typical students. It's leadership opportunities that they get to interact with a population of the building they don't always get to interact with. And if you get an opportunity to come out when they're playing flag football in the fall or basketball in the winter in the gym, it's truly heart-touching at how well our students adapt and do wonderful things for one another. And then we get to stand on the shoulder of giants here at BBH CSD, and we do wonderful things. If you just take, for example, on your way out, and you look in these showcases back here, our Alumni Association does a wonderful job of highlighting our community, where we have been, where we have come, and where we're heading. And the same thing is when we do our Gallery of Achievement. We could do that in the evening, we could do that on the weekend, but no, Mr. Jacob and his administrative team and staff here at the high school and the Alumni Association, we do it during the school day. And our students are in the audience to hear the wonderful things that these former alumni have accomplished in their career or in their lives. It gives a model or gives an example to our students to achieve for more and to be better and to give back to their community. So it's an outstanding opportunity. Let's transition into our strategic plan. Last year, at this very State of the Schools, I talked about the strategic plan that we had created. And it wasn't my strategic plan. It wasn't Craig's strategic plan. It wasn't the Board of Education's strategic plan. It was our community's strategic plan. We went about it a little bit differently. We did a scientific survey for both communities that matched the census data so we could really pull and get a good pulse in our community of what they expected from their schools. We created a mission, a vision, our core values, and our culture. And we'll talk a little bit about that. When we talk about mission, it's pretty simple. It's around most of us on our lanyards. It's educate, empower, and engage. Educate, empower, and engage. That's what our mission is. We are going to educate like the best of them. We're going to empower both staff and students to do wonderful things in our classrooms, and we are going to engage our communities. And we're working hard to do that, and I'll share some of those things with you here shortly. And our vision is simple: to continue to be a destination district. This is a destination district, both for staff, students, and families. I hear story after story from our families that tell us we moved here because of the schools. Just a few weeks ago, I had a community member tell me that their neighbor moved here from Kentucky to Brecksville, Broadview Heights because of the schools. And they wanted their son and or daughter to be in our schools and have the opportunity that they have. That's what a destination district is. It's one that people continue to support, but also not only support, hold accountable. And we want to be held accountable. That scientific survey told us what our community's values are, and they were very, very clear. They value academic excellence and providing innovative learning opportunities for all. Value school safety and security. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, we have to talk about that a lot and often. We value responsible stewardship of the dynamic resources given to BBH CSD. Probably the one that stuck out the most, these are in no certain order, is that our community said, we value the finest educators and staff to empower our students. And this district has a long history and tradition of supporting the staff and finding the finest educators possible to be here. When we have an opening in our community or in our school district, some of my fellow superintendents will say, yeah, we had a math opening and we had 5, 10, 15 applicants. It's getting harder and harder, less people are going into education, it's a fact. Well, in BBH CSD, when we have an opening, we get 100, 150, 175. I remember interviewing for a third grade position just a year or two ago, and Colleen Toth and her team had to sift through 175 applicants that wanted to be part of our school district. That's a destination district. That's a special district. That's somewhere that you know you have community support when people want to continue to be part. We value transparent, engaging, and collaborative communications. I'll share more later, but we are trying and spending an inordinate amount of time trying to be transparent, authentic, available to all parts of our community, not just our families, not just our senior citizens, but anyone and everyone that will listen, just like yourselves that are here this evening. I'm sure many of you think of many other things you would want to do this evening, but this is important to be here and to learn the great things going on in your district. And we value comprehensive preparedness of our students' future successes. And our culture is to be your best, be the future, be one community. How do we do that? We create psychologically safe places where people feel as though they have a voice. And when I say this, I'm talking staff, students, and community. You have a voice in a psychologically safe place, okay, where we will share in vulnerability, ask for help when we need help, get assistance when we need assistance, and we all fight for a shared purpose. Of that strategic plan, we came up with 5 strategic priorities. These are the things we're working on. I already said one of them. We want to be a top 5 district in the state of Ohio based on relevant metrics. We are there in some areas, and we will continue to achieve to be that. All students, pre-K to 12. I want to focus on all. Not just special ed, not just gifted, not just AP. We're saying all students, pre-K to 12 and BBH CSD, will have access to resources, staffing, instructional practices, programs, curricula needed to improve their learning. All students, not just one subgroup of students. We will develop and maintain ongoing community collaboration. I mean, I don't know what else we have to do. Craig and I are even podcasting to this day. Something I never thought I would do. I think he enjoys more than I. But the point being is we are trying every means possible to reach our community. No matter what community you go into, no matter what school district you're a part of, the community always say the schools don't communicate enough. Well, we had a meeting this past week with a group of individuals that have an interest in finance, school finances, and we actually had a couple people say we communicate too much, or it's too much, and they had to be talking about Mr. Jacobs' news and notes from the high school, because it's usually pages long, or it could have been one of Dr. Martin's presentations at a board meeting. All right, those of you that are regular attendees know what I'm talking about. 4, we're going to recognize that public finances is a key component to trust and accountability. We take it very seriously, the resources you provide to our school district. We are as transparent as they come. We have nothing to hide. We'll share whatever you want to know about your school district anytime you ask, and provide exceptional facilities. Those are our 5 strategic priorities. When we talk about allocation of resources, every allocation of a resource ties back to our strategic plan. It's not meant to sit on a shelf and be static. It's meant to be a living document, and everything we do in the school district, from our financial resources and allocation to the people who work in our district and the decisions we make on a given day, will absolutely tie back to this. I even was confronted by one of our building administrators over the past 2 weeks that wants to do an initiative in his building, and I got a 3-page explanation of how this initiative ties to the strategic plan, the priorities, and our culture. And that was like bingo. That's a district that's being proactive. That's a district that's using resources efficiently, and that's a district that has a plan and is not just flying by the seat of their pants. And that's one of the major things I want you to leave here tonight, knowing that your school district has a plan. Your school district has a purpose for each and everything we do on a daily basis. We're not perfect. No school district is. We work with people. We work with children. We will make mistakes, but we'll be first to own up to them when we do. We will stand behind our students to celebrate successes, and we'll be there to pick them up when they need to be picked up. So when we talk about year 1 in our strategic plan, we have major things that we accomplished. But spoiler alert, a lot of those things are behind the scenes. You as a regular community member or you as a parent may not notice them, may not see them, may not feel them, but I'm telling you they're making a difference in our schools. This slide here is on the handout that's at your tables, so you can look at and refer to, but I will just go into each one a little bit. I'll start with educate. Remember, educate, empower, and engage. We implemented a district professional learning plan. One of the things that our staff told us is we want to have a plan. We want to know what we're doing. We started something called personalized professional development, where our staff members are professionally developed by their colleagues. And there's a high level of collaboration and work. We have so many experts in our district that we just need to tap into them. It doesn't always mean bringing somebody from the outside. Sometimes it's tapping into the expertise we have in our classrooms. Recalibrate professional learning communities. Those are PLCs you'll hear. Our district has a legacy or a history of investing in our staff, not only in salary and benefits, but also in time. We provide our staff the ample amount of time during the school day to do the work that they do. It takes collaboration. But we've kind of strayed from it a little bit. PLCs weren't as strong as they once were. We needed to refresh them, bring them back together, refocus, and have that drive that we've had to get us to where we are. Redesign MTSS, that's multi-tier system of support. What do we do with students that maybe don't get it the first time? What do we do with students who struggle? What do we do when things don't go as planned? We need to have a multi-layered tiers of support, and that's what MTSS is all about. Assess all district resources. This has been a painful one. It's been a painful one for our admin. It's been a painful one for some of our department chairs, because through the budgeting process last year, Craig Yanagloss and Dave Martin and myself and Cassie Spangler and Brian Wyckoff, it wasn't just, let's flip the budget over. We had this much last year, increase it a little bit, we'll be good to go. No. What are we spending on? Why are we spending on? And does it align to our strategic plan? And we had to really push in with our buildings, our departments, our teachers in the classroom. And it wasn't about cutting or reducing. That wasn't what the conversation was about. The conversation was about what are we doing with the resources we have, and how can we prove that we're using them efficiently and in the manner that they should be used? And are we getting the biggest bang for our buck? That's something that will continue to go on and on and on. When we talk about empowering, We want to celebrate staff and student accomplishments. It gets pretty easy at times to celebrate student successes. If you watch our social media, our websites, we're always bragging about our wonderful students and what they're doing. We're not bragging enough about our staff. We have amazing staff here. Our district doesn't do a Distinguished Service Award. We don't recognize some of the wonderful things that our staff is doing. We do it in pockets, and you'll hear about a few of them tonight, but we need to do a better job of building up those educators and other employees in our district, from our bus drivers to our food service to our custodial and maintenance. They all do an amazing job. Just like this evening. This isn't what our cafeteria usually looks like. Come in and these guys and gals have it done, and they go above and beyond for us all the time. Develop leadership opportunities is probably the one I'm most passionate about. About a year ago, we started doing something called TOPE. Dr. Martin loves his acronyms, all right? But it's Teacher on Assignment Project. Essentially what was happening was we had to adopt a huge K-5 ELA adoption called CKLA. And anytime you adopt new curriculum or new resources for teachers, everyone gets nervous because they're set in their ways, or they know the information that they have, and now we're dumping a whole brand new series on them with a different philosophy behind it. We wanted to do this adoption correctly. So we had a retirement in the curriculum department, and instead of replacing that retirement, we took 2 of our most experienced teachers and teacher leaders out of the classroom and backfilled them with long-term substitutes. Those 2 educators have spent the past year and a quarter to this point professionally developing their colleagues, leading their colleagues, even leading us as an administrative team. Jody Tomsick and Beth Adams have been rock stars. But it wasn't easy when we asked them to come out of the classroom. They didn't maybe believe us that we really wanted to put them in a position of leadership, to give them the keys to the palace to make this work. They had questions, they had doubts, they had just reservations. But they took a risk, and they did it. And it has been uber successful, to the point that I get a 3-page document from another building principal asking to do it in their building on an adoption. That's leadership. And leadership doesn't come from the top, it comes from all over. All right, every level of our organization, there are people leading, and those 2 individuals have done a phenomenal job. Also under Empower It, we're going to develop essential life skills in addition to classroom skills. That survey to our community said it loud and clear. We need our students to possess the skills to be successful in today's day and age. The path is not the same that many of us traveled. Randy Borosh has been an awesome rock star for us who continues to push the needle on career readiness and workforce. And many times in a district like this, when you start talking to community members and especially parents and go, yeah, we want to talk about some career readiness. Whoa. My son or daughter is going to college, university, because that's what I did. Great. Today's path looks different, and we need to recognize that. And there's no reason that we can't continue the legacy of academic excellence that we have had as a school district, and in parallel with career readiness opportunities for our students. We want our students to leave our school district after a successful 13 years knowing what their strengths are, where their passions lie, and what the path ahead looks like. Because in the United States of America, the most expensive career exploration program is a college or university. We don't want our students from BBH CSD to go onto campus and change their major 2 or 3 times. Because we all know what happens when you change your major. Repeating classes, more financial debts, all right, not having an idea. Plus at the high school level and middle school level, 6 through 12, if students know their strengths and they understand their passions and appreciate their passions, guess what? They're in a better place mentally. They're a healthier individual, and they're prepared to be successful. And that's what we need to continue to do. And Randy and individuals that are middle school this year are really starting to push and help guide students in that career readiness. The last one is one that I'm excited about because it's a lot of where our work lies. When I say our work, I'm talking about central office typically. We're going to create strategic partnerships, ongoing relationship with the Chamber of Commerce, partner with healthy communities, career readiness opportunities. I mean, there's opportunities all over our communities. And in the way today's world is going and the way careers are, they're dying to get their hands on our students. There are opportunities for students to leave high school, start in the workforce, and have their employer pay for their college university, pay for their advanced training. We need to make those connections for our students. Employers like Lubrisol, Sherwin-Williams, and others like that are partners that we need to have that support the wonderful things we do. Identify opportunities for enhanced communication. State of the schools tonight. This is the first of 3 key communicators meetings, as we refer to them. There'll be one in January and one in April, I believe. The dates are on that half sheet in front of you. This one's a little more formal, where I'm talking to a mic and to you a lot. The other 2 are completely wide open, and we take any topic and nothing's off the table. Or, if you're available, we do coffee house visits. Craig and I, every Thursday after the board meeting, board meetings are on Wednesdays, the Thursday after a board meeting, we show up at Panera or Coffee Club. Those dates are on that flyer as well. We started those coffee chats because we were targeting a certain demographic, those who are available and have an opportunity to join us for coffee in the morning. I get a lot of parents who say, well, those are wonderful, and I hear great things about them, but I work. I say, I know. The coffee chats were meant for our more senior individuals in our community. But little did I know the number of people that would show up. We were at Coffee Club 2 months ago. We had a great turnout to the point a patron came over and asked one of our people that were at the coffee chat, could you please sit in that booth so I can have that chair, because there was no other chairs in the place. So the Coffee Club and Panera have been great partners. We continue to have a great turnout. We do have season ticket holders for the coffee chats. I have individuals that are there every month, and I don't know what I'd do if they didn't show up. All right? But at those coffee chats, you get to see Craig Yanagloss, our district treasurer, and myself in an environment where the guard is down, and we're willing to talk about anything and everything about your school district. We usually start with, there's nothing off the table. We sometimes will have a topic starter, but then it just rolls from there. We say it's an hour. I usually end up being there for about 2 hours. So please join us at those. We have the key communicators meetings. We launched a new website this year. I know it's not perfect, but unfortunately we're trying to give you everything we possibly can on a website. You have to spend a little time to navigate it to find what you need, but I guarantee it's there. And then recently the podcasts, I guess we're official now. It's on Spotify, The Ledger and the Leader. We're taping one tomorrow. Craig and I are trying to figure out what the topic for tomorrow is, so some of you in here might get targeted to be a guest for tomorrow, so afterwards you might want to run. So that is what we're about. That's who we are. That's our strategic plan, our mission, our vision, our core values, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. We're proud of the work we do in our school system. We hope you're proud of your school district. We're happy to see your students come through the doors each and every morning. But we can't do it alone. We have to continue to have the support from our community and from special individuals in our community. And last year we recognized 2 partners that had done amazing things for BBH-CSD. And this year we're going to recognize 2 organizations or individuals that have done amazing things for our students and our staff. And that's our Community Champion Award. What is the Community Champion Award? It's in recognition of the outstanding commitment to our school community. Your unwavering support, generous donations, and active participation have truly made a difference. Through your efforts, you educate our students, empower our educators, and engage with our entire school community. So with that, I'd like to welcome up to the stage Mrs. Cassandra Spangler, who's our Director of Student Services, who's going to recognize our first Community Champion Award. It's Cassie. What's that? Oh, yeah, you can invite him over.
Hi, as Jeff already said, I'm Cassie Spangler. I serve as the Director of People Services here in the district. Throughout my experience here in the district, I have had an opportunity to meet several amazing families. The one that I'm going to be able to talk a little bit today has generosity, dedication, and heart for students that leave an indelible mark on our district. The Scusa family has been a steadfast supporter of our schools for many years, championing initiatives that have helped the district be the destination district that it is today. Through their contributions through the school foundation, the Scusa family has helped create sensory rooms, furnish classrooms, and provide unique opportunities for students to thrive through activities such as music therapy, horseback riding, art therapy, and many other activities. In doing so, they have helped us educate our students through meaningful and innovative ways, expanding learning beyond the classroom and giving students the opportunity to develop skills that serve them for a lifetime. The Scusa family has been committed to helping empower our students and prepare them for life after school. Their support through the Fork Farms equipment, which we have Jeff and Andy over there, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, gives them hands-on and job-related experiences, providing them the opportunity for future careers while helping them also meet graduation requirements. Additionally, they have helped us with a partnership with I Am Boundless, providing students with a job coaching and real-world experiences in the community, experiencing and giving them the confidence and independence to succeed beyond high school. The Scusa family has gone above and beyond to engage the entire school community by supporting unified sports, as Jeff has previously mentioned, at the elementary school and other special programs. They have created inclusive practices and experiences that bring students, family, and staff together, fostering a sense of belonging with a shared purpose across our district. Their commitment to our students and programs have touched countless lives, leaving a lasting impact that reflects the very best of our mission. The Scusa family is a prime example of what it means to be a true community champion, giving selflessly, believing in potential, and inspiring us all to continue to educate, empower, and engage our students every single day. Scusa, can you come over? Yeah.
Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for all your support.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
you always make the mic available if you want to say anything, but no pressure.
Sure. This thing working? Okay. Yeah, on behalf of the Scusa family, I just want to say this is a real honor. And I think I'm speaking for everybody in the community when I say that. You know, it's really good to live in a community that has such a great school system. I mean, it's such a trickle-down thing. From the foundation to the board to all the educators. It's just thanks for making a big difference. Thank you.
Now, this next part is a risk, a big risk. So I've asked Dr. Martin to join me up here on the podium. And those of you that know Dr. David Martin, probably 6 degrees of Hilton Elementary School, but also when we give him the mic or the podium, he can get a little passionate. But I've asked Dr. Martin to come forward to present our second Community Champion Award. So, Doctor. Yeah.
As you've already heard, I'm known for my conciseness. We'll keep this under 30 minutes, I promise you. This evening, we gather to celebrate something truly special, something that doesn't just happen by chance, but through years of dedication, passion, and an unwavering commitment to our community. We are here to honor someone who has spent 2 decades making a profound difference in the lives of our students, our families, and our neighbors. 20 years ago, a very, very special person joined the Community Awareness and Prevention Associations, or CAPA. She joined it with a mission close to all of our hearts: to prevent and reduce youth substance use and to encourage healthy life choices. Since 1989, CAPA has been a beacon of hope, a force for positive change, and a partner to our schools and community. But it's the people behind CAPA, people like that very special person that joined our team 20 years ago, who bring that mission to life every single day. For 2 decades, this very special person has been the heart and soul of CAPA's work in our district. She has shown up day after day, year after year, not for recognition, but because she believes in the power of our community, the potential of our young people, and the difference that education and prevention can make. She has worked tirelessly alongside teachers, parents, law enforcement, and community leaders to create strategies rooted in local data, to provide resources, and to foster an environment where every single student is supported and empowered to make healthy choices. But what truly sets her apart is her ability to connect with students, with staff, with families. She listens, she understands, she acts. She acts a lot. She gets really fired up. Whether it's organizing awareness campaigns, building leadership capacity in our students, or simply being a steady presence for those who need guidance, she has touched countless lives. She has been a mentor, an advocate, and a friend to so many in our community. As we reflect on the 20 years of service, it's clear that her dedication is not just a job, it's a calling. She embodies the spirit of Kappa, collaboration, compassion, and a deep belief in the potential of our community. And so, it is with immense gratitude and admiration that we take this moment to recognize this very special person's extraordinary contributions. It is my great pleasure to announce that in honor of her 2 decades of service and her lasting impact on our community, this year's recipient of the Community Champion Award goes to none other than our own Kelly Lazar.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. No, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you. It's been my honor and privilege to serve these communities, amazing communities with amazing school members and parents, and especially students. I've really enjoyed seeing the growth of our young people and how they have inspired me to be a better person as they become leaders in the community. Even today, I had a group of kids at the middle school and even at the high school leading lessons with their peers on for Red Ribbon Week. They stepped up. They never ceased to amaze me. And I truly believe that if you educate kids, if you give them the opportunities to lead, you engage them and you empower them, they'll never let you down. So thank you so much. This is an absolute shock. You're lucky it came. It was actually in my beehives. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Just 2 examples of the wonderful work that is done within our district, not only by the educators, but those who give back in so many ways. And I know there's many other community champions in this room. I thank many of you because many of you are the warm faces that have welcomed me to the district, who are at our events for our students, come to our board meetings, and are actively engaged in your school community. So after tonight, how do you stay engaged? How do you continue to know what's happening in your school district? You'll start to see things coming out like next month, a climate and culture survey that will go out to our students in our community about our school system, because we want to act upon facts and not just feelings. The Ledger and the Leader podcast, as mentioned, is on Spotify. In-person engagement sessions that are on the half sheets of paper in front of you, as well as in the newsletter in front of you. Just last week, we started the Community Finance Alliance. We're about a group of volunteers through our communities that want to learn more about school finance and what is happening at the state level. Contact us anytime, anywhere, anything. I joke, Craig cringes when I say it, we are as transparent as they come. If there is something that you want to know about your school district that somebody isn't providing to you, myself and my team will make sure you get that information. I joke because I tell people if you want to, you can come read my email every day if you'd like, and you could answer some as well. But in all reality and all joking aside, we're a district that wants our community to know that we're here to serve your students, and we are here for you, and if there's anything we can do as a school district to get better or provide to you to help the cause, we're happy to do it. We've completed our campus master plan, and I want to have everybody take a deep breath. Just because we've created a campus master plan that has plans for upwards of $50 or $60 million, we're not on the ballot next week for a levy or a bond to pay for it. It's a plan. We're trying to be proactive. We have a beautiful campus here that has a whole lot or a lack of rhyme or reason at times. One of the most important things is we only have 2 entrances on and off of campus. That creates a lot of concern and issues, not only with our daily drivers, but also our safety forces. So when we, phase 1 of our campus master plan was the demo of Hilton Elementary, which happened. Phase 2 was the addition of the driveway from the Hilton entrance all the way up onto campus. And maybe I was a little bit excited about the project and said I wanted to have it done before snow flew this winter. I still have a few more days probably, but it's not going to happen because we hit a couple snags, like a utility pole that just happened to be in the way of a new drive that you would think would be an easy thing to do to get old utility poles removed. Well, when you have multiple vendors on that pole, they're all pointing fingers at each other. So that took some time. We also had a couple cost estimates come back that weren't in our budget because we're trying to balance fiscal responsibility with this project, and we have a budget, but also plan for future developments upon this, because this is just phase 2 of a 7-phase plan. Well, when you try to plan some of those future aspects, it increases the cost, took it outside of our budget. So we had to go back to our team, AVG, redesign the road slightly with a lot of stuff that's under the ground that you don't see. So I'm happy to say at our November board meeting, we will be asking for permission to go out to bid. So we will put it out to bid in November. After the first of the year, we'll have our meetings. They'll start construction, and a substantially completion date of July 31st is what we're shooting for. And actually, the timing works out. When we go out to bid, will be at the time that many of the construction companies and partners that we'd be employing to do this job are looking to fill their schedules. So it is coming, and it will be here, and it will have a roundabout. If you didn't know this, there will be a roundabout on campus. We thought, what better way to teach our students how to navigate roundabouts than to have one on campus? So it will be there. But we've had to learn things, like when we put a roundabout in, we better make sure that a fire truck can get around the roundabout, right? We also better make sure we design that roundabout in a way where it just doesn't grow weeds in the middle. That's going to be a focal point for our campus. The campus master plan is meant to give our campus an identity. Our community has pride in our school system. Our campus should reflect that. Thank you. Thank you for taking time to be here, helping us recognize our community champions, understanding that public education is a pillar of our communities and we need to protect it. I just put a graphic up here because I thought maybe a question would come up about property taxes and what's going on at the state level. I'm not going to do a deep dive, but what I'm going to tell you is the situation that we are all in as Ohioans is a result of legislation over the past 20 to 30 years. And I, quite frankly, am tired of some people painting the narrative that public schools are to blame. We are not to blame. We continue to do more with less, and we continue to step up. And if you just take one quick bite, in 1991, I think I was 8th grade, 47% of school funding fell upon property owners and farmers in the state of Ohio. Fast forward to 2023, 70% falls upon the local tax-paying citizens. Where did it come from? All of the legislation that we did to reward or entice businesses to come to communities and switching from different avenues there, and it has come to our community. Much of the legislation that's being voted upon, discussed, debated at this point in time is simply a Band-Aid and is a try at a quick fix. There is no quick fix, And what may seem as a reduction in property taxes is only going to come back in another form of a possible levy or something of that nature. I mean, the state collects property tax, sales tax, income tax. The state has chosen to fund public schools through property tax, okay? And property tax in the state of Ohio brings in $22 billion a year. So the legislators have a tough job because there's a grassroots effort to put the elimination of property taxes on the ballot. And they're afraid that if it makes it and that grassroots effort is successful and communities and tax-paying citizens have an opportunity to say yes for property taxes or no, if it gets on the ballot, there's a good chance that it might pass and eliminate property taxes that not only harm your public schools, your safety forces, your townships, your cities, and other institutions that are quality of life. But $22 billion is hard to make up. Some estimate if you wanted to make up $22 billion through sales tax, it would be a 15 to 20% sales tax on each and everything that we buy. So again, it's like a three-legged stool. You have property tax, income tax, sales tax. You take property tax away, then it has to either go to income tax, which we know is not popular, and the income tax continues to decline in the state of Ohio over the past 10 years. Okay? It leaves it to sales tax. We're not a tourism industry in Northeast Ohio, like maybe some other states that could maybe do it other ways. So just pay attention to what is going on at the state level. And it is more important now than ever to be in contact with your local representatives. The Board of Education, Craig, and myself advocate on a daily basis with many of those individuals. So I'm going to step down off that soapbox. All right? I'm a proponent of public education. I'm a biased individual, but I don't think there's anybody else that does it as well as we do. And we will continue to do it. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attendance this evening.